Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the RavenCourt. So, we gotta go a bit over what exactly this is. There's a new tournament that is coming up soon, and this is part of it, but I'm gonna explain all of this in just a second. For now, though, we have the blue team against the red team. And on the left side here in All Direct Pass, it's Ultralisk on Imperius, we got Uki on Janna, Q on Sylvanas, Malkarx on Urel, and Captain Rex on Rega. Seems like our Urel player should be on the red side, if anything. Oh, on the reds, we got Bad Benny on Anuburak, the Queen on Leoric, Crankle on Brightwing, Klobaka on Genji, and Hazrops is playing Hanzo. Alright, so let's get into it real quickly. So, if you remember, we had a few years ago, there were always some in-house games that were played by the players, and we already ran in-house tournaments. And the RavenCourt is pretty much the evolution of exactly that. So it's an internal bot that some of the players and some of the guys are running, where they occasionally have in-house games. And now, based on these in-house games, there will be a tournament. And this currently is, so to say, the warm-up for that tournament. So what we're going to have over the next couple of days and next couple of weeks, we're going to have a lot of games where these in-house matches are being thrown together. The players that are participating here will be put into teams by a bot, and we will play individual maps that I will cast. Now, a lot of this is going to take place live, and I will also have access to the draft, but the first couple of games were the day where I unfortunately couldn't cast it directly. It was just a few days ago, so we're going to go over a couple of replays together, and you can familiarize yourself a little bit with the players that are participating here, and also some names that you might not know yet. And as you can see, we have with Cure also an American player participating here. And then in a few weeks, we're going to go into the actual tournament where players that have been participating in these games and have acquired a minimum amount of wins then can be part of the Captain's Draft tournament, where there will be an actual prize pool, and just so that you guys have a bit of an idea of what's going on. So this is the preamble to all of it. That's why we're having these mixed teams, which of course makes it quite interesting here. But you can get a bit of an idea of some of the players and maybe also some names that you're not quite that familiar with. Hence also blue team against red team. There's no real team names yet. Once that we're entering the real tournament, of course, there will be actual teams. The Captain's Draft will then put everybody into teams here. So it's a little bit different. It's something completely different from what we are normally seeing here. We've been trying to mix things up a bit with all the tournaments that were hosted in the past. We had a Nations Cup, with Meta Madness, with standard tournaments, of course, too. And now with this in-house format, you're seeing more mixed teams, so that it's not always, you know, washed up going up against Team 1 and some of the others. But we will also have regular tournaments, of course, as well. But here's a bit of an idea of what's going on there. So, in our first game that we're catching, we have, as already mentioned, we got Leo and we got Anuburak over on the right side, whereas on the left we have Imperius, Jojo and Urel. So triple front line that is being played with here on All Direct Pass. Ultralisk, in this case, finds himself on the off lane, playing down at the bottom of the map, currently against Genji. Now, Anuburak on this map, obviously, always a bit of a nuisance, because he can easily go over to the objective and channel it by himself. There's a few other heroes that can do that technically too. Gazlo would be one of them, Samuro as well, but you don't see most of them. So Anuburak is kind of the one guy to pull this one off without you having to ruin your entire team composition to do it. But Jojo is already paying attention here. So as you can tell, this is not when this trick was first discovered anymore. People are aware of what's going on, so whenever they face off against Anuburak, they are going to check their own camp, try to interrupt him a little bit. In this case, it's Janna that is just sitting tight and making sure that Anuburak doesn't sneak a small advantage for the team. So now, down to the bottom of the map, still Leo doing his thing. Camps, of course, are diligently taken by the teams this early in the game. And we have, with talents, also the bit of barbs now, a bit of a slow here. The ghastly reach also for Leo. Can combo off them pretty well later with his level 13 and 16 if he goes full swing to win. And apparently we're getting the first kill here. It's Genji that goes down. So Genji, he needed some healing, he didn't get any. Crankle on Brightwing could not help him, so that's the end of him, and first blood for the blue team. Level 7 is kicking in early, and they are already starting to push straight through the middle here in an attempt to just break through that wall all the way up at the top side. Urel still pushing this out for experience. Bit of a chase against Leoric in the meantime down at the bottom of the map. but nothing really of consequence there. Cure going YOLO. Yeah, and I gotta say, I mean, again, the bot obviously puts these matches together, and this is a bit of a high-quality team on the blue side. You have Cure and Ultralisk on the same side, so already 2 heavy hitters here. And yeah, it's pretty interesting to see the 2 of them play together. Obviously, as the season progresses and the bot gets fed more information, things are going to change. But we have a pretty strong team here, whereas Bad Benny on the other side with the Nubarak is now all of a sudden in trouble. Hazops together with him. So, yeah, some heavy hitters on both sides. Lopaka in here too. Hazops on Hanzo. And I'm totally here for it. This is going to be a good one. Captain Rex is with us as well, with Rhaegar, making sure that they're getting the camp as quickly as possible. And all the way up at the top, that's where we're now having again a bit of a one-on-one established. But again, nobody has really made a massive play yet for the objective. Instead, we're just seeing them poke slowly and steadily, trying to see if they can get a quick kill, and maybe with an early level 10 then finally move over to the objective and get that one done. Currently also, of course, the approach of the red team in an attempt to catch up in experience, since they are the ones that are trailing slightly behind. And that triggers the attack from the blue team that is now moving in and takes an advantage on the objective. Starts to go for the prisoner camp here. We got the angelic armaments in, we got the blessed shield, and in the middle the wall has already been destroyed. Thanks to Q and his Sylvanas, they were easily able to take some of the structures out and pressure the fort even further. Now they're hitting hard on the objective and the mid lane. So not a good position for the red team to be in. They don't have level 10 yet, so there's little that they can do in this spot. But finally they lock it in. Might not be enough to get the first objective stopped though. But they could get the kill, and that would help them a lot with the defense. So already the arrow comes out. Oh, beautiful Ancestral. Nice attempt to take Cure down, and it works out. Sylvanas dies, but so does Genji. A lot of good timings here, particularly from the red team, interrupting every single attempt to save Sylvanas. But of course, it costs the red team Genji, and that kind of puts the entire endeavor ad absurdum. Nothing that they could do to make this defense easier for themselves. At least with Sylvanas out of the picture, the push can't be enhanced, so killing her was still big, but they couldn't rely on a numbers advantage with the defense. They're still going to, of course, try and defend as much as possible, but at least in the middle of the map we can expect more damage on the fort. Down to the bot lane, already heavy damage being established here. And it looks like this is eventually going to cost them the fort, because now Q is moving in with Sylvanas and is starting to disable everything. We have 3 kills to 2 in favor of the blue team, but it is still fairly even. I mean, there is an advantage for the blue team, don't get me wrong, but the level advantage, the experience lead, is not as big as you would assume. So over towards the middle of the map now, we got still our 2 tanks eyeing each other, with Leoric having a lot of space and time at the top to start taking maybe all of this out, but hasn't really happened yet for the Queen playing the King. We got Cure and his boys going for another camp, and Hazops is of course going to try and do the same thing over on the right side of the map. So Hanzo is already busy, but they're a bit behind here. The camp taken just a moment faster by their opponents, and now that the first fort has been destroyed at the bottom of the map, this one in the middle is of course the next item on the agenda of the blue team. They're going to try and take this one out. So, as is, we're having still level 12 versus level 12. So there's no snowball here just yet. There's small advantages that the blue team is slowly getting for themselves, but nothing that they can particularly build on just yet. So still a chance for their opponents to fight back here. Level 13 talent, they will be in the hands of the blue team just a little bit earlier. But of course the window this time is not only smaller, but also a bit less significant. With level 13, not really too much that they should be able to do here. Also noteworthy, no objective announced yet, nothing up. So there should be a way for the red team to catch up pretty easily. But the push is still gonna hurt. It's coming in as expected. Sylvanas is here and she helps them out. Ultralisk with Imperius gets caught over here, but should still be fine. Genji came in with the X-Strike, but had to move out again. The fort is gone. In comes the hit from Hazops. with Hanzo. Gets a stun out. They're trying for Ultralisk, but the Ancestral is perfectly timed from Captain Rex. No problem for Imperius, and now they're attempting to turn it around against Bad Benny, who is moving away with the big cockroach, and Ubarak getting away. It's 2 times that Q has fallen, by the way. Now, already a bit of credit to Q, obviously. He is currently the only one playing cross-server, and that definitely impacts ping quite a bit. You might have heard some of these memes where people are saying, nah, you know what, the ping, it doesn't really matter. It's like, you can play cross-server. It's like, yeah, you can, if you're pretty good. And a lot of the guys that have played cross-server in the past, they are quite strong, but it definitely impacts you. Q has been talking about it several times in the past, and so big shout out to him. One of the few that is totally willing to play cross-server and accept the ping disadvantages that come with it, and tries to play around them. So I'm not going to rip him for dying twice. He was also very heavily targeted, of course, since Sylvanas is a very, very strong asset on the side of the blue team and can help them to easily enhance these pushes even further. So of course he, as a squishy, is going to be one of the priority target for them. So with level 13 now on the 2 sides, we got talking about Sylvanas, Remorseless over here. And for Nubarak, it is the Burning Beetles. Yeah, I've been burning beetles also a little bit when I was a kid. It was more so ants, I gotta say. As long as you don't proceed to cats or anything, I think you are out of the serial killer department. But yeah, if you're young insects, I think that's like normal, more or less. Still a bit sad. But when you progress to cats and other stuff is a little bit taller, then yeah, that's definitely a serial killer alert. So if you ever encounter anything like that, I would definitely call 911. That is not, does not sound like a healthy thing. Boss is taken, so with 15 to 15, we now have up at the top side, 4 kills to 2, and finally, the red team is starting to fight back a bit. So they have a boss set up. If they can interrupt down here at the bottom of the map, that would be the dream, but I think it should be pretty safe for them to take a boss as well. Now there is also an objective up that was here taken at the same time. Attempt by Leo to get the Entomb, and Hanzo fired an arrow, both missing though, so a bit unfortunate that the combo that they executed didn't work out for them, but the thought was definitely a good one. If you hit that Entomb properly and then the arrow hits as well, then you can do a whole lot of shenanigans here. And also with the Entomb, we have to kind of hint at the possible play on level 20, because once that you are having the Buried Alive in play, you can definitely do a whole lot more here, particularly against heroes like Urel, like Sylvanas. So we'll see how they can play with that. Boss is obviously doing a fair amount of damage already. The top fort on the blue team side has been destroyed. And down here, we're seeing the boss already knocking at the wall to the keep. So that's a bit of an issue. The next problem is objective number 2. Yeah, it seems like the cavalry has been let out of Twitter jail and is, or X jail, sorry, my bad, and is now moving over to the right side. 2 heroes down, that's what we're talking about. Nice. This time they killed 2 quickly, so the defense is already underway. Nice. Yeah, by the way, what is this X shit? I mean, Elon, you need to stop smoking mushrooms. Rebranding Twitter, I mean, are you serious? I appreciate all the efforts to make this platform a little bit better, and some of the approaches might be a bit strange, but that is definitely the weirdest one thus far. X? What is this? Like, it sounds like a bad rap song from the 90s to me. So yeah, not quite sure what he was trying to do with that. But either way, this time the arrow hits hard, 17 to 17, and another kill. So damn, the red team is currently murdering them. That is the best defense that they can set up thus far. So two kills right after the cavalry was taken. They still had to take some damage on the bottom keep, and the top fort is also suffering. But this is still, yeah, making things quite interesting, because now the objective has done very little for the blue team. The defense was strong. It also helped the red team to catch up not only in kills but experience. So despite the fact that they've lost a few more structures, they are still absolutely in this. This game is far from decided. And if anything, then the blue team has to be a bit more careful now with level 20 talents approaching. I talked about Lorik a bit and his Buried Alive. So yeah, that could be an interesting one. If they get set good combos up around Leo's Buried Alive later, then they can definitely go for another double, triple kill and then just build on top of that, get some momentum going, take a few structures down. But the bot lane is a bit of a concern. Now, of course, when we're talking Alderac Pass, removing one keep is usually not enough. Yeah, nice hit here. Box not strong enough, but the arrow's there and they take her down. The Ancestral was too late. They thought they could save her, and boy, were they wrong. Jojo gets eliminated. And that is the main tank gone, and they are pushing further. They want more here, and they're about to get it. Ultralisk, he survives. Nicely done. But the wall is, of course, gonna fall. Nice. Alright, so let's see if they can push this a bit further. There's nothing on the map yet. Boss in his minute and 20, objective in 30 seconds. Leo already had to move back down to the bottom of the map in an attempt to make sure that he saves the keep. Has to push the lane out a bit further too. There's no globals in here outside of Brightwing, so we don't have anybody like Falstad or Dehaka that can easily push these lanes out. But the half-level lead now for the red team could become a huge factor in the next objective fight. And also, again, with level 20, there's a lot of strong scaling that we're gonna see for the boys on the right side of the map. If Leoric hits a proper Entomb and Hazorps is again on point with his follow-up arrow, he could definitely do a whole lot here. So we'll see what they're gonna get. At this point, it's 4 kills to 6. We have right now level 20 Kick King in and down to the bottom of the map. We're seeing Cure just do his thing and push this out, trying to put more pressure onto the keep itself. So, yeah, there's level 20. Buried Alive is in. Rewind. And, of course, the blue team is catching up now. But up at the top, we already have the first... Yeah, well, this should actually be the first progress that the red team has made in this entire game on the progress by the objective. So there's a couple of traps being set up in the party bushes, but they are moving down to the bottom of the map in an attempt to go for the keep, apparently, forcing the hand of the red team to defend here. But they shouldn't really send all of it. They're going to lose it. It's gone. Rotation is there. It's gone. This one is not happening anymore. They need to get the objective and instead just trying to go for some counter damage. That's all that they can do at the end of the day. If not for that, then it's gonna get quite dicey. So 20 versus 20, 6 kills to 4. This one is gonna be taken. Third objective in the game. First objective for the red team. Yeah, boss should be sniffed out and they're giving it up. They're not even trying to stick around. Hasn't really been damaged too much yet. So they're just moving away from it. But this is where we're going to see the Raiders approach. And of course, right now, the red team has to do damage. A bit of a moment of truth here. They need to take some of these forts out at least. Try and get some catapult pressure going for themselves. And make sure that they're getting at least a bit of an advantage. If you can get a few kills here, you might even be able to snowball this entire fight. But they need to land that Entomb. And we're going to keep our eyes on Copenhagen here with his little queen account. So first fort is already gone. Hasn't really hit that many great Entombs. I think the last 2 he missed. He landed one earlier where they were able to get the kill on Cure Sylvanas. There's the stun! Beautiful! But Cure still able to get out with his Bolt of the Storm here, so he's able to retreat. Nicely done, despite the stun and everything else that was thrown at him. And now Leoric has fallen, so Copenhagen is already gone. And they try for another kill. They try for Genji. They can't take him on. But in the meantime, the keeps are taking damage. Topside in particular. This one is currently getting hit down to 50%. Mid lane has taken damage too. At the bottom of the map, a fort is going to take the brunt force of this attack. But with Cure moving in, they should be able to save it for now and take it apart. But yeah, as you can see here, this one, I think they could just barely get that done. Yeah, not quite. All right. So, 5 kills to 6. And there it is. The Entomb is out. Nice. The Buried Alive. They're looking for a follow-up. Urel wasn't here yet, so the idea was to also play around the numbers advantage. But that didn't really work. Another hit, and that is the end of Sylvanas. I love it. Back and forth the entire time. Now keep in mind, these are all one mappers. We're not playing best of 5s, we're not playing best of 3s or anything. So these are one individual maps, and then the teams are getting reshuffled, not only with the players that you see here in this particular game, but also in other games that are being played at the same time. So 6 kills to 6. Here's number 7 for the boys in blue. They have taken one keep out, so that's one armor shield gone. But the attack is now focusing into the middle of the map, and that's of course where Sylvanas is going to play a huge, major role once again. Q already moving forward and trying to get the second armor shield removed. Red team isn't out of it just yet. They've done a lot of damage to the keeps on the blue team side as well, but of course they are the ones who actually lose their keeps now. It's not only the one at the bottom of the map that has been eliminated, but they're not going to let this one in the middle slide either. That's 2 armor shields on the core removed, and now this bad boy is definitely a lot more vulnerable than before. So, down to the bottom of the map now. A boss is about to be taken. Let's just face it. The red team kind of has to contest this. I'm not even sure if they realize this is going on. I mean, they can guess, obviously. But it seems that they are just waiting for Bad Benny and his Anubarak to respawn, so they can start and throw something against them. Because at this point, this defense is not going to be easy at all. And of course, you don't even have to push with the boss. You can just simply let the boss do his thing, go for the objective instead, and then attack with that. But they are trying to now 5-man through the bot lane, which is exactly what they're moving in for. Blessed shields are getting thrown out. And boy, oh boy, are they in trouble. Anubarak trying to get out. Krankle with Brightwing also moving back. Another hit is coming. Copenhagen with Leo is about to go down, but not before he hits the maze straight into the face of Urel. The goat is gone. They're trying for Brightwing. Hazovs is jumping away. Everybody is just trying to go for a bit of counterattack. The wolf for the bite. Hazovs, and there it is. Hazu Rega with the slow and the kill. Hanzo is gone. The core is already falling as Q is saying, you silly Europeans, you go and brawl a little bit, I'm gonna end the game. Q on the boss already on the core, everybody else still fighting this out here on the left side. And off we go. Another hit, Lopaka gets away, but of course this is going to end game number 1 here at the RavenCourt warm-up. Again, guys, if you want to have more information, check out the link in the description. And of course, we're going to head into a few more games. And then in a few weeks, as mentioned previously, we'll have the main tournament. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. And we're back with the RavenCourt. We got another match here, another one of the high caliber games. Cursed Hollow is the map this time, and over on the blue side we got Hazovs on Sergeant Hammer, we have Bad Benny on Anubarak, Captain Rex on Anduin, Dead Inside on Genji, and Copenhagen aka Queen is playing Blaze. To the right side of the map, the red team, Banana H with Chromie. We got Marl Karks on Hogger, Krankle on Rega, Ultralisk on Sylvanas, and Lopaka on Jojo. I actually don't even know if Marl Karks is a name where I'm like, okay, that's actually kind of funny, or if I'm just like, okay, this is stupid as hell. I can't decide yet. But yes, the in-house games, they continue. Again, the warm-up for the actual Captain's Draft tournament that we're going to run soon. There is more information if you want to familiarize yourself with the concept of the in-house league here with the RavenCourt in the description of the YouTube video, so you can just scroll down into it. There's also crowdfunding attached to it. All of that can be found on the website, so just make sure to check out the link. But as I explained in one of the previous games, this is, so to say, the warm-up. A lot of these players are participating in the current season. There is a certain amount of wins that you need to accumulate. Oh, damn, son, talking about accumulating things. First kill accumulated. Genji gone. Oof. That was a quick one. Easy first blood for the red team. But yeah, as I was about to say, so players have to, of course, participate in the season, and then at some point we are going to have an actual captain's draft that will lead straight into a proper tournament that will be played here. Until then, the teams are getting shuffled by the RavenCourt bot. according to internal MMRs, and therefore it's going to be quite interesting to see who's going to play with whom. So we're going to have a lot of mixed teams. We have a couple of Americans that are also participating. Cure has played in one of the previous games, so we'll see. But again, for the time being, we're now looking at Hogger doing his thing again over on the camp. I mean, again, usually when you're playing Hogger, you want to have him on mercenary camps as much as you can in the early stages. It's always kind of important to get the map control with that. Chromie has gone into the Time Walker's Pursuit on level 1 and is already using it. Has obviously double-checked what's happening on the left side, where we see the blue team now go for one of their camps as well. But there's definitely a little bit of a time advantage with Hogger that the red team can rely upon, and they're already doing exactly that. All the way up top side, Banana going up against Bad Benny now. And with a level 4 kicking in, Sylvanas here. Ultralisk, of course, playing down to the bottom of the map. Hogger has now taken position, and we'll see how this is going to play out. Dead inside, he was dead early, and can redeem himself as the game continues. But that early kill was definitely a bit of a rough one for him, to put it mildly. But yeah, got ganged up a bit. Sergeant Hammer, of course, also in this now. Azobs, the Germans. Siege tactics in the house. And while we're waiting for the first real push happening, it's also time for the objective. If anything surprises a little bit, then it's probably the fact that the Siege Giants down here were taken this early. Normally, if the first objective, the first tribute spawns at the top, the red team would try and delay their Siege Giants just a little bit to have them come through the bot lane perfectly timed with the objective spawn so that they can apply more pressure or force the opponent to keep a hero at the bottom of the map and then get a numbers advantage up at the top. In this case, it's not really happening. So instead, we have Hazobs here, but obviously, if you're having Sergeant Hammer, then during the first objective, you can most of the time not do too much because mobility is still missing. Genji gets killed again. So yeah, talking about some missing mobility, that's not a good sign for Genji. 2 times taken out this early. Now, the red team is building on it. Not only do they try and guard the top tribute, but also an enormous amount of damage has now been done at the bottom of the map. With the Sylvanas rotation, with the Siege Giants there. And this is getting a bit tricky. Now, of course, as all of this continues and Sergeant Hammer gets access to level 7 talents, things are becoming a bit more equal or more dangerous for the red team. But this early game is quite nice for them. With level 7, we're getting the Seeing Red, we get the Möbius loop. We have also more synergy for Rhaegar with his totem build that he's currently executing here. So we'll see what he can do with that. A bit of an attack over on the left side, and, well, they're trying to create some space. Krankle goes for the interrupt. Sorry, not for the interrupt, for the channel. The interrupt comes from Bad Benny, and he has to re-engage here. Hogger is still fighting with Sergeant Hammer at the bottom of the map. By now, with level 7, we got the Hover Siege mode, so Hammer on the move. And this means that the blue team is now eagerly trying to get the first tribute for themselves. So we're already 4.5 minutes in, we're at level 8, and despite the 2-kill lead for the red team, we haven't seen them take a tribute yet. Sylvanas has moved down towards Sergeant Hammer, so they're trying to go for Hazobs here. Can't get the kill, but at least force the German player back. And dead inside, he's again in trouble. Anduin is, of course, trying his best here. I mean, later we're going to see the light bomb engage. So once level 10 hits, he can swift strike in after Anduin applies the light bomb and properly execute a stun into the back line. But at least now there are certain problems with all of it. Genji is going a little bit too deep. Gets attacked again. Jojo is not fast enough to suck him back into the Condemn. But there's a huge threat, of course. So we're definitely going to keep our eye on Genji as the game continues. For now, he's still stacking his level 4 and is nearly done on that. Half a level until 10, and we're getting heroic abilities for the red team. And already, here comes the move that try to get the hit. And that's that. Chromie is gone, and that's the first kill for the blue team, so marks the first kill for them. Another quick hit. So Parker gets poked, there's level 10, they got heroic abilities, so that might be an opportunity. While this fight is playing out, the fort at the bottom of the map got destroyed, so that was well played. get at least something done here. And they still didn't have to give up this one. Interrupt comes too late, so the tribute exchanged for a fort. Absolutely worth it for the red team, I'd say. But they could have maybe even gotten that. Now, when it comes to ults, we actually get the Falling Sword. Now, Jojo has always been super interesting with her heroic abilities. For the longest time, it was only Blessed Shield, Blessed Shield, Blessed Shield. Then there was a long period in which Falling Sword was the biggest talent for her, simply because Ana was so big in the meta. And all of these backline healers that didn't have any mobility, they really struggled against Jojo's Falling Sword approach. In this case, Anduin is the one in the backline. Now, of course, a bit of mobility is given if you go for Jojo with Falling Sword, because she can also jump out of a fight, but it's definitely a more aggressive variation. Camp is being fought over, and it's taken! Nice! They even get a kill! Blue team comes in, gets the kill, and also the camp. So all of a sudden, this entire game is flipped a little bit. Initially, it was the red team that got the kills against Genji and was able to build on them, but they lost after they destroyed the fort. The tribute, one of their heroes, now they lose the camp and another one, so this makes it a bit tricky, especially since the blue team is doing a great job following up on these kills and capitalizing on them. They're coming top, take the boss, and now they have more pressure top lane. I like the reaction from the red team on the other hand, so they made the best out of a bad situation. They moved into the middle and they put more damage onto this fort now too. So they're definitely doing a great job with their rotational play, trying to make the best out of all of these situations. Whether they are pinning the opponent down around an objective or whether they realize, hey, they are taking our boss, let's try and do the best we can by getting some counter damage in. Sergeant Emma is being put under pressure, as is Anduin, as Jojo jumps in. They're zoning them away from the boss, and that is going to save their top fort. Not for long, I'd say, but for now at least, it's still in play. Okay, Hogger, spin to win, is jumping out. And yep, there we go. Topside, a play is still being made. Yeah, Captain Rex with Anduin is trying to pull Sergeant Hammer back to safety. But that's a pretty heavy target, so that didn't work out. And now Anduin is gone as well. He gets flipped around a little bit by Chromie. Yeah, so things are looking actually quite nice now again for the red team. It's a fun game, because Holler's definitely a good map for this too. We have a lot of back and forth action between the two teams. Two tributes for the blue team. Hogger denying the thingy, the curse, and is now getting the tribute down at the bottom of the map. But this is definitely an interesting interplay that we're seeing. The top fort should be taken down by the Siege Giants soon. In the meantime, they're making another move for Bad Benny, and with Jojo engaging and closing the gap, the Beetle is gone. So, X-Strike as they're trying to go for Chromie. This might even be the end of Genji, and yes, he dies. 6 kills to 3. Damn, we're having a real back and forth here. 2 forts are now gone. The one at the top has also been eliminated, so that makes it 3 in total, with 1 boss up on the map. That is where our boys in red are now moving to try and take a boss too. If this is going to work out or not, that's a different question, since it seems that the blue team is willing to engage, at least willing to poke around. Genji takes another 5 seconds. I don't really think that they are going to make an actual move for this. I don't believe that for a second. Nah, they're definitely outnumbered here. But pinning them down helps to get more damage done in the middle. There is a camp in the mid lane, there's a camp all the way up at the top. This one is already stalling them, and here there's some Siege Giants that are starting to damage. And let's face it, you have to fight for the tribute now. That's the highest priority. So some damage through these mercenary camps can still be done. And it seems they're letting them... No, they're not letting this go. Jojo sneaking around the side. Boss is now at the bottom of the map. There's a lot of pressure on these lanes for both teams. So really a lot going on right now. Once again, we have them trying to take position here, but the kill against Hogger. Couldn't go for the shockwave, couldn't go for anything, was absolutely annihilated. Another move is coming as they are now jumping back out of the fight. The curse, of course, should hit the red boys hard. Hazobs is getting it, and here we go. Another stun, and well, there's also a quick cocoon. They're really trying to get these kills, but Genji is gone again. Genji has been eliminated once more. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so Lopaka trying to get away here. Honestly, with Karl Marx playing on the red team side, we should have called capitalism against communism here as our two teams. So if we're already going for anything like it. And I don't know what to tell you, but the communists is not really looking too good for them. Yeah, it seems like the means of production are currently getting destroyed here. So yeah, bad news for them. The capitalists are taking control of the map. On the... They should be green though. Green for all the money. Or gold. I would let gold slide too. Blue doesn't really fit with it too much, I guess. But yeah, either way, down at the bottom of the map, Haas is obviously doing his thing. The curse has hit hard. Top lane has been opened up. But the red team is currently still hoping to fight back. And they have a talent advantage, which didn't help them in this particular fight. Jojo was still not back on the map, so it was a 4 versus 4 with Sergeant Hammer down at the bot lane. They had a talent lead, but they couldn't build on it. But Benny makes it out. They're trying to follow it up with another kill. It's a bit of a weird... Oh, nice. Oh, Blaze gets wrecked. Nice. Yeah, that was a nice attempt to save him, but good job here. Sylvanas taking him out. So a bit of a weird one, honestly, when you think about it, because initially it was... The idea was to force a 4 versus 4 with a level 16 talent advantage. Red team engaged. Then they lost one of their heroes and immediately retreated, but were at least able to take down Blaze. So it seems like the entire game is just blow for blow. Each team gets a hit in against the other side. 29,000 now for Sylvanas. We got 41,000 for Genji. And all the way up at the top, we still have Hogger controlling the lane. This is obviously where they're struggling the most. The entire wall has been opened. Keep is vulnerable. One boss is up. Next tribute would be the second one for the red team or the first for the blue team. So no immediate danger regarding curses. They go for a Nubarak. They try to dive in here. Yeah, and they're gonna get him. They're gonna get a new... Oh, the stun? Nope, they're still getting him. But maybe a bit of counter damage here. Genji's trying to move in, and now they're caught between a rock and a hard place. That fort could be an issue. Nice hit by Sergeant Hammer and the BFG. Sylvanas is gone. And yeah, the red team is definitely caught in a really shitty spot. They might be able to fight their way out of it, but it's not going to be easy at all. Rega is wrecked, and they're going now for Karl, and he's gone too. Yeah, that is unfortunate for him. That's 3 down, so they wanted the Nubarak, but they wanted him a little bit too badly. They lose 3 heroes in the process, and that means they have to yield the map control to the blue team once again. Now there's a boss up that could be taken. There's a few more camps too, but I think at least the boss should be claimed. Chromie is sniffing this out immediately. Not a problem for her, but of course, what are they going to do about it? They can try and poke from a distance, but the chances that they're getting a lucky hit in and take one of the heroes down, they're slim to none. And if you're getting a bit too greedy, then you might easily become the target yourself and lose another hero here, which they cannot afford. So, yeah. Chromie fires away, but the boss is already taken. And this is exactly what I just talked about a second ago. Jojo finds herself in a bit of trouble, has to iron skin it up and move away, but is able to make it out, so good for her. But at the top, the boss is going to go straight for the keep, and this is where it gets dangerous. We have 9 kills to 9. Yeah, and this is exactly what I want to say. And at the bottom of the map, the boss earlier has taken the keep down, so technically the red team is ahead currently. Bit behind experience, but technically ahead. Here comes the attack again. Nice! Good move to heal Sylvanas up with the Ancestral here. Top boss is going to take a keep down as well, so structurally they're going to be more or less even. But the attacks over the tribute are still happening, with the Bunker of Blaze being dropped to save the team and also push back the opponent. This one is gone, and even the core might take damage, honestly. I think the core is definitely going to take damage the way this is going. If they can get kills here too, this is going to get real dangerous for the red team. They might even lose the game here, but they are looking like they might just be able to get a few kills themselves. Shield is currently falling on the right side. Copenhagen is getting out. Genji is dead. Genji is gone, and the core is losing hit points. Hansops is in the middle, taking out another fort. And this is actually starting to hurt a little bit. I mean, we're talking 60% at this point in time. That is really rough. 62% on the core. That hurts. And Hazu has taken the fort down in the middle. So they were able to get kills, but they definitely paid a price for it, and that price might have been a bit too high. Tribute hasn't been taken yet either. Jojo trying to engage on Sergeant Hammer. Hazorbs is moving away. No problem for him. But boy, this is getting dicey here. What a game. Line him up, baby. Beautiful ult from Hazorbs. Real big hit, and Rega gets wrecked. Jojo is down. Nicely done. Well played. The attack on the left by Ultralisk. Ultralisk going for the big solo. YOLO gets the kill. They're trying on the right side to take another one out. Couldn't quite manage yet, and Ultralisk is hearting back out on the left. Or so I thought, but now he's re-engaging. They're still trying to fight here, as it seems. Ultralisk! Can't interrupt anything. Alright, they're disengaging. But that was actually well done. That was a real nice fight too. Hazorbs first lining them up, putting them low, then they're coming in, get the first kill on Rega, and follow it up with a second. Now we have 2 tributes for the red team after all. Most of the heroes are back to business. Hammer is still gone, Jojo and Rega also not on the map. But we really have a battle on our hands here. 11 kills to 11. This is just looking fantastic. It's looking really good. 63,000 for Genji. Channel went through. And yeah, having the core this low is of course a problem. There could always be a bit of a backdoor. Bosses are going to be heavily impactful here. Now, this boss is something that the blue team cannot give up. They need to either take it themselves or at least guard it. And the same is true for the red team in relation to the top side boss. Both of these lanes don't contain a keep more for the teams I just pointed out, which makes these super important. Top side, I mean, this is big. Catapults, siege giants, that fight down here, Anduin is dead. I mean, honestly, if the red team wins the fight, they can win the game. But they need to be careful that they're not going to be taken out by the Winions, because that top lane push is going to be a problem. Yeah, once again, the communists are losing another one. Hogger is dead again, so is Rega, but Sergeant Hammer has been taken down. That's a bit of an issue. It's a big issue. It's a 3 versus 3 now. And topside, double catapult and siege giants are moving for the core. They need to send somebody back. They can't just simply let this one sit. They need to send somebody back right now. This cannot hit the core. The shield is going to get mowed down way too quickly. So they're already sending 2 of their heroes back, and they really, really have to. And they do it in time. They're not going to lose anything here. They even get the tribute. So good on them. Blue team wasn't able to deal with the situation, but they might just be able to get the kill against Banana H. Chromie is trying to get some help here, but this isn't happening. Chromie gets slapped around a little bit. And, well, while that happened, they are defending, and defending. So I guess from their point of view, at least they can defend against the curse. This will give some map control back to the red team. But pretty sweet battle. This is a crazy game. It really is. Each team has lost one of their keeps. Red team has lost a lot more in regards to damage on the core itself. Another attempt to get the bottom boss. And the red team is actually trying to contest this. For real? Without Chromie? Careful, boys. That's going to get a little bit dangerous. So they're trying to fall into the middle instead to take that one on. Even that seems like a bit of a stretch. I mean, the attack is coming, and it's a 5 versus 4. They're kind of getting greedy here. This is a bit of a Sudoku move, if you ask me. Light bomb engage, and they're asking for it, honestly. They're on the run. Hogger is already cocooned. Chromie isn't here. She's just barely coming back. Rega gets killed, and now Hogger is dying too. I honestly don't know what this was. What was the idea here? They moved so deep into enemy territory and just YOLO'd it up in the middle. They knew that they were at a numbers disadvantage. The curse was about to be stopped. And now we have a big attack happening at the bottom of the map with the boss moving in as well. So the red team, not really a smart move here. I'm not sure what the thought process was, but that backfired quickly. Maybe they thought they could disengage with the help of Johanna, but boy, were they quick. They quickly learned the lesson here. 2 heroes down, bottom keep now gone. They're in real trouble. This might just be it, honestly. With 62% left and the boss still being able to scratch the shield a little bit, or at least soak some of the shots, they should be able to make a move for it. It's 18 seconds until Rega is back and Hogger. So yeah. Benny on the other hand, oh, Sergeant Hammer is gone. And Ultralis is about to die too. Jojo is beasting it. Sylvanas gets at least dragged. And Jojo dies. Having the cooldown reduction on Johanna was absolutely priceless in this situation. It really helped them to get more and more damage in with the Heaven's Fury. And what do you know? It actually forces the blue team back. So 21 minutes in and the game is not over yet. Real nice. Real nice. Now, of course, as mentioned before, they have to take the boss now. But I don't think they can. So these boys still on their way back. There should be enough time for the red team to take the boss. I would have actually expected to at least have one player make a move towards the top lane. That hasn't happened. With the numbers advantage, they should have tried to contest this a little bit. And nothing has seriously happened there. So just giving this one up. Yeah, some of the guys had to move back. Okay, maybe they have a chance. They're too late. They're too late. But yeah, they should have tried to make a move here. But they're trying to isolate some of them. Boss is not going to move out on lane. Ancestral has already been thrown out, and now with the numbers advantage, they're going for it. They want the kills. They should be able to get at least a few. Sylvanas and Jojo are now on their way back, but the attacks are coming. Hogga is gone once again, and everybody is just like trying to escape here. Dead inside. He was a bit low, needed to be careful. Wailing Arrow, but the bunker is up. Copenhagen with Blaze was able to drop it quickly, and now the attack up at the top. But there's Jojo. Jojo again, and she turns it around once more. The Heaven's Fury. Johanna really VIP at this point. 53,000 damage for her. Big VIP plays by Johanna. Those were super important. And now it's a 4 versus 3 in favor of the red team with the boss at the top side. Yeah, that... Wow. That could really flip things now. We have 6 deaths on Genji, 5 on Sergeant Hammer, Hogga, and Rhaegar. But that is the big moment for the red team. They will get the keep. The question is, can they get more? It's 30 seconds until Sergeant Hammer and Genji are back. And this definitely hurt. They shouldn't be able to win the game unless, of course, a few more heroes are going to die. The defense is still fairly alright, but it could get close. It could get so close. Yeah, it's mostly melees. They're still fighting this out. And look at Jojo. Jojo and the cooldown reduction that she's getting the entire time. Rhaegar is gone, but look at that core. They are murdering that bad boy. This could be victory. The red team is about to lock it in. It's so damn close. 9%. 7. Oh no. Hogga is moving in. 5% on the core. Carl. No. What a finish. That's going to be the end of it. What the hell? 5%, 40 kills in total. They threw everything at them. Top keep gone, boss moves in, 5% on the core, and that's all that they have. The move over to the right side after the 5-man team wipe. There it is, the victory for the blue team. They pulled it off after all. Absolutely incredible. What a game here on Cursed Hollow. Fan-fucking-tastic. Love it. Absolutely love it. More RavenCourt madness. Fantastic game. And what a finish. GG and well played. Okay, more RavenCourt action. We got another match, and on the left side, Captain Rex on Brightwing for the blue team. We got Hazobs on Dragonshire playing Malthael, Darkmog on Murden, Crankle on Junkrat, and Dead Inside on Genji. On the right side, in red, we got Mal Karks once again with Hogga. We got Hunter Hogga on Rhaegar, Lopaka on Anubarak, Nano is playing Sergeant Hammer, and Ultralisk with Kerrigan. So So again, these are obviously games that are all in-house matches. The teams are more or less randomly created by a bot, so that's why you don't see the same players playing consistently. This also means that these games are not best of 3 or best of 5 matches, so they're individual games being played, and the RavenCourt plays out, the in-house league is called RavenCourt, and plays out several seasons, and this time we're having a tournament that is attached to the season, so players that participate in the season itself and have a certain number of wins can then participate in the tournament that will follow, where we have a captain's draft to start things off. This therefore is, so to say, the warm-up. We're going to have a couple of weeks where the players can prove themselves, can show everybody what they're made of, can also of course make sure that people know exactly who's good to play with. Maybe we're going to see a couple of new faces emerge as well. And the whole idea here is to just give everybody a bit of exposure before we're heading into the captain's draft, where the captains will then try and put their teams together for the tournament itself. Now, if you want to have additional information around all of this and you're watching this on YouTube right now, then make sure that you check out the link in the description of the video. There's also crowdfunding attached to the current tournament. There's more information about the league itself. You can visit the website and see how all of this works and functions. So don't hesitate to check all of that out. But as we're heading into the game, we now have even an invade coming. Okay, so they are immediately starting to jump over. 1 kill to 0 and try to take the camp away. So the blue team with a bit of a high risk, high reward play. And you know what? It played out for them. Yeah, they're not only getting the kill, they're getting a camp, and they're walking away from it with ease. So here on Dragonshire, the blue team turns it around pretty quickly. Ooh, this on the other hand was a bit dicey. Malthael is dead, he's gone. And yeah, that was unfortunate. This would have been just so much better if they would have avoided Malthael dying, but even with him falling, this is still fine. It's a kill for each side, and they got their camp, so totally worth it. Big success here for them. But of course it also puts the red team into play once again. They have a slight lead in kills, gives them a bit of experience. It's nothing too fancy here, but it's definitely... yeah, it's a bit of a consolation prize. Take at least Malthael down, so that you know you have something accomplished there. I'm talking about taking things down. They're taking now also a Nuborog on. And Genji, not again! That inside is not having a good day, I can tell you that much. He's been struggling a bit in the early game with his hero. He's just not really found the limit yet. He's diving a bit deep and gets punished for it by the opponent's team. This time he moved straight into the hands of a Hogger, and that was his demise then in the end. So down to the bottom of the map, 3 kills to 1. The control is still there for the red team. We have them with even Carrigan in the middle. Ultralisk was thinking about channeling the Dragonite, I guess, but there was not only the bottom shrine that was contested, but also at the top we saw more or less the same. Hogger even had to move out. Yes, Harzops and Dead Inside are both trying to go for him. But while they are pushing for the wall, the same is happening at the bottom of the map, just for the other team. So they take the wall out. Dragonshire obviously one of the maps where you have to have the most coordination. Kills matter a lot here, especially in the later stages of the game when the death timers are a bit higher, so that you can get more map control. You need to control 3 points on the map, so oftentimes we're getting objectives after big team fights. But also pretty important to note that at the bot lane you have a lot of mercenary camps that are heavily important, which is why the bot lane is usually focused on the most. There are 2 Siege Giant camps and 1 Bruiser camp that are traveling through here. So with or without the objective, you can set up heavy pushes on the bottom of the map and try and take this one out. Bit more action here in the middle now. Another combo. Ultralisk with Carrigan is trying to show off his skills again. Gets the combo, but they couldn't get a kill. And now it's Genji that is starting to nibble on the hit point pool again, but Nuborog was able to get out without any real issues. Up at the top, Harzops, he's still playing this one out a bit more. And yeah, Lopaka dives in again, goes for Genji. But Genji, he makes it out. This time he makes it out. But yeah, he's had enough. enough deaths in the last 2 games. So he's just sitting there saying like, all right, this kind of was it for now. But But yeah, level 8 is in. Slight leading experience, as already mentioned before, for the team on the right side of the map. So they are still trying to see if they can maybe rotate over. They have a lot of stuns. You can engage with the Nubarak and Karrigan. Both of them can move in. And then later we can also get from Rhaegar even more slows. We now get them with a Purification on level 7. And yeah, that is exactly that stun combo that we just highlighted. Junkrat fell victim to it, so that's him gone. And that will very likely also result in the bottom fort being eliminated. At least Nano's weaving in these right clicks like a boss. I mean, look at that. Right click after right click. Ah, that micro, it's stunning. Sergeant Hammer play at his finest. Super exciting. Ah, look at that. Right click, napalm strike. Right click, napalm strike. Amazing. Amazing. Pressing buttons all day, every day. So, level 10 is in. I mean, they're dominating right now. They're taking the bottom fort out. They have level 10. They take Genji on at the top. They can, of course, dive in deep because of their heroic abilities. That's a huge advantage over the opponent's team. And Uberak, talking about diving, trying to jump in and get even more damage done. And Sergeant Hammer has now started to move even further forward and starts to attack this a little bit. Still secures the flank. Is going to be able to get out. Darkmork hops in. Tries to get a kill, but yeah. And of course now the attempt to go for the Dragon Knight. And it's gonna work out! Yeah, he holds it a little bit longer, and that is a Dragon Knight in the middle. Level 10, just so perfect for them in this situation. Allowed them to do so much. Not only get kills at the top, but also destroy the fort at the bottom. Claim the Dragon Knight at the same time. They are looking absolutely stellar here. Red team definitely in a very, very good position to make all of this work now. So we have in the mid lane still a push set up with 4 heroes, whereas the Dragon Knight is sitting up at the top and is attempting to do his thing there. Already starting to slowly take him out on this one. Yeah, at least trying to. I mean, that fort is already down to 50% HP, so they're really getting there. They're now in a pretty good position where they should be able to get another fort, pull even further ahead in experience, which in this case now results them sitting on level 12. That's an entire 1 level lead that they have over the opponent's team. And then in addition to that, we also have them with 5 kills to 1. So pretty much on all fronts, the red team is currently slightly ahead compared to their opponent. But with moves like this one, we might just see them turn this slowly. Hogger dies, and that's also an additional stack for Malthael, who's now getting a bit of cooldown reduction for his ult. Still means that level 13 is going to hit first for the red team, but this is exactly the kind of move that the blue team has to make if they want to have a chance of bringing this one back. Hazob's here also with Malthael. Obviously, when you're playing in this RavenCourt environment, it also means that oftentimes you will have to swap roles at least a little bit. You can't always rely on playing your favorite role here. It's just not how it works. But for now, at least, we have Hazu on the side lane. Captain Rex is still playing the support all the way at the top. Hazu still attempting to also de-push this a little bit. And down at the bottom of the map, another camp is being focused by the red team, who's trying to get a double camp push going here with those siege giants. Now, it's a bit unlikely that they're really going to follow this up towards the wall of the keep. They could, and maybe they even do. They're hoping, oh, if they can get that kill. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Brightwing gets trashed. Trashwing is gone, and now this push is going to do a lot. The Riptire is de-pushing a bit and at least gets the AoE damage in, but obviously if you have a numbers advantage with your opponent lacking their healer, then you can easily use that to just hammer that lane down. And that's what they're doing. Level 13 might now be available on both sides, but the damage on the keep is slowly coming in. Darkmook is jumping through. They got to attack. Brightwing is coming back. The death time is of course still low at the 9-minute mark, so Brightwing is going to be here in a second. Ultralisk is ultra dead. He dies to the last rites. That's the second stack for Hazorbs, and they're being pushed back now. But while all of this is playing out, the keep has taken so much damage that it's nearly fallen. It's insanely low, and this is going to be tough to hold as the game continues. Nubarak diving back. Genji wants the kill but doesn't get it, and Genji himself now barely able to move out. Hogger was already up at the top, and has taken the XP for them. Down here, of course, this one has suffered tons. And this is just really tricky. 6 kills to 3. The defense at the end of the day was solid, don't get me wrong, but with Brightwing dying, it just went all downhill. Too much damage done. The double camp setup was great, and then they were able to get a kill. They used it to take the gate and also the keep nearly on. Level 16 is super close now too. If they get the objective here, boy, that would just be the dream. But top lane gets reclaimed. Control has been taken. Genji jumping in a bit deep, maybe too deep, but this time Dead Inside moves away. Fight isn't over yet though, because they're still trying to go for the next few targets, and Genji gets stopped by the Cocoon, so they're trying to force the fight here. They will get the fight for sure. The question is, can they win it? Carry again with another combo attempt. This one didn't work out properly either. They don't have level 16 talents yet, and that means no advantage for the blue team, as we're sorry, for the red team, as we're still fighting this one out. Dead Inside was looking for a kill, couldn't get it. Good stun from Anubarak. Follow-up is there. Ultralisk with the stun and the kill. Azops is gone. Hogger pogging further, trying for another one. Brightwing switching over, but I guess Captain Rex is gone. Should be falling. It's the battle of the healers here, or at least it should be. Gets away. All right. Junkrat? Are they all getting away? There's no. That can't be happening. Darkmok at least is going to get murdered here. Level 16 is now in. Darkmok tries to escape, but yeah, he's just running from the left to the right to the left, doing his best. But at the end of the day, he still falls victim to Anubarak. So another kill number 8 for the boys in red, as they are trying to also get control of the Dragon Eye to finally put the finishing touches on the bottom keep and maybe even more. Oh boy! They are playing a really dangerous game here. I mean, Junkrat dying, if he falls in that situation, then it is a big problem. I mean, it's already tough enough as is. Now we have a Dragon Eye taken. That means the fort in the middle is probably going to get murdered, and then they're going to move down to the bottom to take the keep down, or at least that's what I expected. With 4 heroes defending, they're switching the MO up just slightly. Lopaka is at the bottom, gets pinged to go back. Might have gone too deep, and all of a sudden, this is looking pretty shitty. Anubarak, okay, he gets out. The Ancestral gets thrown out. Better safe than sorry. Dragonite has, during all of this, taken the fort in the middle. Darkmok gets an ass kicking over here, so yeah, he's out of the fight for a second. But there's obviously no doubt that the bottom keep is now going to fall. So it got a bit tense for a second. It got definitely a little bit tense. With Anubarak going a bit too deep, this could have backfired. It didn't. They have everything that they wanted. They took the fort down, they took the keep down. So now they have the advantage here. Another big punt is happening, and Junkrat is out of the fight. This time, Malthael's hit did not come through, and team, this is looking a bit dicey. With now 2 heroes gone, it might just spell out the end of either the keep or the game. I'm not sure if they can do this, though. I mean, we're 13 minutes into the game. I'm not sure they can actually end this. They will be able to do some damage, don't get me wrong. But ending the game might be a bit too tricky here. They will be... Well, with Sergeant Hammer, you know what? If they get another kill, then in particular, Ultralisk could come in and get another one. 70%. Even if they don't finish it here, every single point they take off the core means that they have a better chance of maybe backdooring their opponent there. Big stun combo by Ultralisk, and yep, that's all she wrote. They're taking it 13.5 minutes in, and we have gamed the red team with a victory on Dragonshire. GG. Tomb of Spider Queen is our next map, and now we have here at the RavenCourt in-house league on the left totally different players. We got Hunter Orc on Anduin, we got Fish on Anubarak, Porky is playing Blaze, has apparently been a bad boy, a bad Porky. And we get Sylvanas, played by Cure, Bishops playing Tracer. So, very aggressive already. Light bomb engage with Tracer can happen. Cure can push with Sylvanas a bit more on the macro side. On the red team, we got Starkfey on Leoric, Ultralisk on Sergeant Hammer. Gia is playing Tyrell. We got Rutsu and on Maiev, and Blu-ray on Rhaegar. So, some different players, as you can see here. Now, in this game, we've already had a bit of variation variation in the games before, but as mentioned previously, every time that they have these play days in the RavenCourt, there are a lot of lobbies that are floating around, so a few of the players will pretty much always be the same, but there's definitely a lot that are participating here, and the entire reason why we're doing these early games before the Captain's Draft tournament starts is not only to give the players some exposure, but also to make sure that everybody can familiarize themselves with other players that are playing in this particular in-house setup. Now, again, for more information, the link, you can find it in the description if you're watching this on YouTube right now. We have top side, Ultralisk already setting up for some damage on the towers. Yeah, and he's already getting shielded here. So right from the beginning it gets annoying for the blue team. They have to try and dive in. Nubarak is of course saying hello. Fish is trying to dive hard. The first tower has taken some damage, but it's just the early nibbling that we're seeing here. It's still all about getting some nice gems and just make an impression early on. Anubaraki has gone into the Regeneration Master. And talking about Blaze, as he's about to fall, we got the Neural Stim Pack here. He also becomes First Blood, and Tyrael dies too. So it's a kill for a kill that we're seeing. We have Tyrael eliminated in the middle, Blaze taken out at the bottom. 1 minute mark has of course passed, which now means that Rutsu has the opportunity to come in and take down the bottom camp, which he's now done successfully. But up at the top, still some pressure against Cure himself. Now again, he is obviously playing cross-server here, so all of the Americans that are participating in the RavenCourt are playing cross-server. These games are all hosted on the European server, and therefore they accept that they have a bit of a delay that they have to play with, so please keep that in mind as they're going through that. And big shout out to them too. So cross-server play is never easy, always feels a bit off and can impact your performance, so we still have to highlight that. But in this case, they're actually doing extremely well coordinating their attack with the rest of the team, and that nearly cost two of the players on the red side their life. They were able to get out, but still. We got the Subterranean, Underking now. Not quite there yet. Underking on level 4 for the big dive and engage by Fish. And, of course, in this case, Siege Tactics by Ultralisk. Not going into the Nick variation of the Sergeant Hammer build with the bio, but yeah, level 4 is in. No gems turned in yet. Everybody is sitting at roughly 25. Cure's the first one to deliver some of his gems here, so good on him. Of course, the camps have now been claimed in the middle, so they're gonna play around them, try and destroy some of those towers and take those walls out before the first web weavers are making their moves. But Cure gets targeted again. Was one of the squishies. If they can block those stuns in, that would be great for them. This camp is a bit late to the party, so it doesn't stop the camp before that. So if you're trying to time it to properly defend, you always want to make sure that the camp is in front of the wall when this one hits, which wasn't the case here, which means more and more value for the red team now on structures. So they're not only taking the gate down, but they're also destroying one of the towers, and even the second one might fall depending on how this plays out. But either way, it was already a success. Now they just have to make sure that the blue team doesn't get more value than they did on their own push. Yeah, Leo turns in, that's 14 gems delivered. Big dive here, and that's a kill. Rega gets taken down. Bishop's able to drop him with his Tracer Bomb. Well played. Ultralisk on Sergeant Hammer, still able to defend this fairly easily. But job still well done. Now the combo with Maiev here is of course quite nasty. So if you're playing Tyrael, Maiev and Leo, there's some really dirty things that you can do, especially after heroic abilities have hit. So we'll see how much damage they can do with that. Sergeant Hammer behind them can always then hit the individual targets. But as we have Ultralisk pushing out the top side a bit, he gets assistance from Gia as the two of them are aiming for the wall. And they have also a fair amount of gems that they could use to maybe even get them to the first turn-in. So yeah, that's another one. Already starting to move in. Middle of the map, then again, another attack against Rega. He's in trouble. Bishops! Okay, they went for the tether here. And Rutsu is always threatening another quick hit and attack. So he is definitely one to watch out for as the game continues. To the bottom of the map. Leo is giving Porky a run for his money, so it is again Blaze that is under pressure, as Bishops is just zipping around, interrupting channel attempts, so nobody is getting close to her. Well, nobody is getting a turn in yet. The red team is already close to their first Web Weaver wave, and this time it seems that Gia is not going to be interrupted. So yes, he turns in, and that means the red team will get the first set of Web Weavers. So yeah, good for him. Now, top fort is fully exposed. And Cure, he actually falls! Cure goes down! That's a disaster! Not only do they not have a wall at the top, they're losing Cure before the Web Weavers are here. Death timers are low, so he'll be back, I mean, in time to help, but not in time to stop the top fort from being dropped. This one is gonna get obliterated. And in the middle of the map, things are not looking too much better if you think about it, because this gate has also been taken out. Sergeant Hammer could already move back towards the middle and does exactly that. Top lane will fall. Question is, how much more damage can they do down here? Bishops is at least able to get a kill against Leoric down at the bottom of the map, but here the real party starts as we have Maiev moving in, connecting a tether and pushing them back. So now top fort is gone. Fort in the middle is taking damage. Even if they can't take the entire thing down, that's already a huge first objective for the red team. Fort on half HP, top fort gone, bottom of the map, still some damage done here. Wall falls and level 10 hits. So they have a small window they can use to do more damage on the fort in the mid lane. It's not going to be enough to take it on, but still, every single hit here matters, and eventually, if they build on these small advantages that are currently eking out, then they can definitely gain more momentum and snowball this one hard. So yeah, job well done for sure. Can they get a few kills though? Because the problem that, well, but the situation is still that the blue team could get a turn in themselves, and then it's just a matter of how much damage can they do. How many kills do they get? So they're trying to get control over the turn-in points now that they have their own level 10 talents. And Fish is turning in 12, so it's going for them quickly. We got Hunter Orc now coming into over on the right side. Yep, camp is taken. Blu-ray is there. Rutsu is making his move, and down to the bottom of the map there's another Siege Giant camp that they can now claim. They could technically go into the middle and try and take that fort down, but they are looking for fights. They're looking for another battle, and they're actually not giving this camp up either. So they're diving in. Here's already the camp claimed as the Entomb came out. They're going for Fish. Nice! The disc before the stun connect. Sneaky play here. In the middle of the jet propulsion, he gets stopped with a disc. Porky gets absolutely outplayed here by Rutsu. If that was totally on purpose, then kudos to Rutsu. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. The second he attempts to engage, Rutsu is just sitting there. He's like, not happening, not working today. Sorry, my friend. Discs him hard, no stun, no connect, and Rutsu is just sitting there and is being sad. Porky. So now more turn-ins are happening. Push at the bottom of the map thanks to the Siege Giants they just got, and damn. They are just absolutely crushing this. I love this. Great plays from the red team. Another disc is hitting, and this time it's Bishops that gets hit by it. So this could be the end of Tracer. Already going for a bit of a recall. Bishops, the heal. Is it enough? And I don't think so. He makes it out. Leo is gone. And down at the bottom, even the Ancestral had to be thrown out to save the day for the red team. But they've taken the fort down, and now they're dropping the wall. 4 kills to 2, both teams still on level 12. It's the structural problems that the blue team has. In kills they're not looking too bad, but structurally they're falling further and further behind. So it comes just in the nick of time as they are getting their own turn in here. That's really, really important. If their Web Weavers can now do some damage, that would bring them back into the game. And of course it would be even more fantastic if they can get a kill to make that happen. So they're trying for Rhaegar. The Cocoon initiated all of this, and Rhaegar gets murdered. Absolutely no chance, but the tether, Rutsu, big plays, big damage, and Ultralisk the one to come in with the final blow. Fish is rushing out too. Yeah, Maiev might have to retreat here. They still need to deal with the Web Weavers, of course. Couldn't get another kill, but still, this was quite strong. 5 kills, 2-3, level 13 now. down to the bottom of the map. The party continues as Leo is the one to deep push this. So seems like they're not going to get a lot with this particular Web Weaver wave. But they're getting a kill. So they take Maiev down. And Ultralisk is coming in on Tracer. Dodge this. And bam, that's it. Going full Matrix on Tracer. Nothing to dodge here. Can't dodge those auto attacks. No skill shots involved. And that's another big hit for the tank player. Der Panzergeneral. 6 kills to 4, level 13 on both sides now. And as you can tell, the Entomb comes in. Wailing Arrow from Cure, so that was a good one. Making sure that he does what he can in order to stay alive in that situation. That could have backfired. That could have really backfired. Just imagine for a second if the follow-up would have been a bit crisper. They might have been able to get a kill after the Wailing Arrow, baiting everybody into it, since everybody was just like happy that Leo connected it. And yeah, Cure with nice plays here. I like it. But then again, blue team is still ahead in kills. Blue team has more kills, but they're losing structures. Now, if they can keep their kill count up, then this might work out in their favor in the long run, since the death timers are going to increase. Sanctification had to be used, was used early. There's still a light bomb, but couldn't do anything with it, especially since the disc was, of course, used. So that silence was a problem. Beautiful tether by Rutsu once again, and there we got another great Entomb by Leoric Starkfey with a good move that allows them to take Blaze down. The problem is, nope, they're saving Rutsu. No problem just yet. They could get the turn in now. Could get the turn in right now. We got 6 kills to 5. And down to the bottom of the map, Ultralisk is immediately moving in position to get another Siege Giant camp. This is what I absolutely love. They get kills, they move immediately into positions that allow them to get further ahead. Siege Giant camp is taken. They're going for the Bruiser camp. And of course, the turn in itself happens too. So they're tying all of these things up to execute another big push, which is exactly what they need to do here. We have them very close to level 16, so this is going to be extremely difficult for the blue team to handle. There's absolutely no doubt that the fort in the middle will fall. The question is simply, what can the red team do now? Can they go for a keep somewhere, for example? Because the top lane was pushed out very aggressively by the blue team, so the Web Weavers are not getting too much there. It's more so the bot lane that's interesting for them. And this is also where they're starting to attack bishops a bit more. Leo is now slowly moving in. He pushed out the top lane and allowed them to get more experience. So level 16 is ready. That gives us Giant Killer. We get the Crushing Hope from Leoric as well. Leo in the middle, helping this out even further. And Blaze is still defending at the top. So they are spread thin. They need Blaze down here. This is not an easy one to hold with Web Weavers and Siege Giants coming through and a team that has a talent advantage over you. Apparently they decided to give up the keep. Blaze is not there yet and the keep is losing hit points. They're fighting back as best they can, but Sanctification and Ancestral Healing are both still up. Falling back for now, trying to bait them into the fight. There's the Cocoon used against Maiev. Disc is out against Anduin, but they're turning it onto Leo, who ghosts away. 27 gems in his hands. Cure with a Wailing Arrow, hitting 3 with it. Sanctification, beautiful timing. Nicely done. They're trying for the kill. Top keep has taken damage as the Web Weavers pushed through on the other side of the map, but down here the fight got over. Wall of the Warden to save the day for Rutsu, and the defense is there. Nice. Blue team holding on to their inner structures. So up at the top, fort keep down to 50%. Bot lane keep also 50%. But the blue team isn't giving up. Cure with 9 gems. Oh, let's hope that doesn't end his life. Oh, disc out. But yeah, Rutsu's fine. If he hits the disc on Cure there, boy, oh boy, that would have been a disaster potentially. So yeah, that one was tricky. 27 gems delivered by the red team already. They're looking for their 3rd turn in, whereas the blue team is still working on their 2nd. They got the gems. They have the opportunity. They have the level and the talent as well. They are on 16 now, which gives us Epic Enter for Anubarak. Another quick hit is coming there against Bishops. It's an interesting game, honestly. Structurally, the blue team just doesn't make any moves. That's a big problem. They're falling further and further behind. But the important thing is that they haven't lost any keeps yet. So there's no continuous cut-up pull pressure that's built up yet. And if they get kills, they could snowball this hard. Keep in mind, they got Sylvanas. So all they need is a Web Weaver wave, a few kills and Sylvanas, and they can do a lot of damage. Especially if they are ending up in a situation where they can also claim a boss. But the next issue is, of course, the gap in experience. They are more than a level behind, and that is not going to make things any easier. So it's all about coordination around the stuns of Anubarak and Blaze, about the follow-up with Sylvanas, maybe a Veiling Arrow. Also, Tracer. She's at 53,000 damage, top damage for the blue team. Sergeant Hammer is on 73k. And just look at Maiev, for example. She's at 47,000. Not shabby. Not bad. Same amount of damage that we see from Sylvanas herself. So another attack coming. Level 20 is only not even an entire level away anymore for the red team. And they are again low. Blue team is again low. Yeah, the disc misses, but the pressure is continuously there. Constant pressure from the red team as they are looking for another kill. And also, of course, another opportunity to turn their gems in, because they're inching closer and closer to another Web Weaver wave, which would be their third. So if the blue team doesn't pay attention here, they could find themselves at the receiving end of a brutal push set up here. Wailing arrows in. There was the follow-up. Already the ancestral healing, and there comes Leo. He might be in trouble. Leo gets out, but look at Porky. He's really low, and he's not the only one. The entire blue team is in trouble here. Cure is trying to get away. Ando with another pull, but Porky, he's not making it. That's 20 gems down the drain. Nobody is able to get that. Anduin is getting caught, and they are looking for a kill on him and Tracer. So the two of them are... well, at least Tracer is gone. It seems like they might actually let Anduin slide. Don't even have to chase here. They have a keep at the top and a keep at the bottom that they could take. Haven't done any of that yet. Anduin, I told you Anduin is good at running away. He employs the French defense and he is running faster than anyone else. So Anduin is able to... I mean, if Anduin can do one thing, then it's running away, right? And he does that better than anybody. So he's running away and he escapes. Good on him. Sometimes it pays off to be a coward. We have 7 kills to 6. Anduin survived, but level 20 is still ready for the boys in red. Now, I think they could have already taken one of the keeps out. If they didn't chase there, if they just used the 2 kills and then moved in, I think they could have taken one of them. Now, they didn't, and now they're going for the boss at the top. Fair, but they're up against a tribute now. Against a Web Weaver wave. I think this could have been played a little bit cleaner by the red team, because right now I assume they will, thanks to the boss, still be able to get the top side keep. But if you think about the situation that they were in, they had a numbers advantage, they had level 20, and they also had control over the map. Could have gone for one, maybe even both keeps. Now they're going to get one keep here, but they also allow the blue team to slowly get back into this. It's a bit of a trade. It's a turn-in against the boss defense. So map control, a little bit more map control will be established by the blue team as these lanes are now going to be pushed out. So that buys some time for the blue team to get their own level 20 and then maybe win a decisive team fight, which essentially is what they have to hope for here. Top keep gone. That one was never in question. It was quite clear that they would not be able to do anything about that. But they can, of course, not push with their Web Weavers. So they buy themselves time and they create some space as the Web Weavers push the lanes out. But that's all that they could do. We're now 18 minutes into the game and the blue team hasn't taken a single fort out. Their only hope is to take on another team fight. Because now we have another Web Weaver wave. This one is designed to go down to the bottom of the map to take a fort. They could focus their attention into the middle instead and just make sure that the Web Weavers themselves take it out and try and go for all 3. But either way, the blue team needs a big team fight victory. It's literally the only thing that they can do. But they have level 20, so that was the important thing. They needed level 20. They needed it to defend on the same talent tier than the red team. And now they have it. It's still rough. But if there's a chance, it is now. 7 kills to 6. Got a lot of kills throughout this game. You just need to get another 2 or 3 here, and then maybe they have a chance. Maybe they can snowball this the other direction. Keep Sylvanas in mind. She could be the X factor for the blue team. We had some insane comebacks already in today's games, and maybe we're going to see another one. But as is, here is that pressure play from the red team as they are hoping to end the game here, or at least take more keeps out. The Web Weavers are gone though. Top lane Web Weavers moving on to the core. Bot lane Web Weavers are soon going to reach the keep. Tether's in. Fish has to be careful with the Nubarak. Yeah, and already they're pushing this one out a bit. Ultralisk in the middle, one attack after another, trying to take the keep out. And they're not getting a whole lot here. That Web Weaver is defeated. In the middle, they didn't get anything either. The red team, they are, honestly, they're fumbling this. They are fumbling this. The blue team has set up a strong defense. They've defended the mid lane, they defended the top lane. Can they get those kills though? They still need the kills. Entomb didn't do anything. Entomb did nothing. But here's the BFG! Oh my god, Cure! And Cure gets killed by Gia. Justice was served. Tyrael comes in, takes Cure down. That Sylvanas gone, and now they are very likely gonna fall apart. It was such a strong defense. They were looking for a kill, they couldn't get it. Now the attacks are coming, the keeps are being murdered, especially the one down at the bottom of the map is going to be taken apart any second. The fish has fallen, so that is Nubura gone, the keeps gone, the second one, the third one, they're all falling, and this should be the end of the game. They held on for such a long time and worked on getting some chance to bring this back, but they couldn't quite hack it. Now Tracer's eliminated, only Anduin is there, and he did of course what he does best. He ran away and hid in the Nexus. And that's it. That's all she wrote. Nicely done by the red team. Great performance. Another quick stun over here. Full 5-man team wipe as the game ends and the red team locks in a victory. GG. Well played.